Hello again, everyone. I was out sick for a few days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So this is actually day 5 of Inkvent. So I'm doing a little bit of catch up. I only did day 1 before I got sick with the Bliss ink for day 1 that I hear that a lot of people were kind of disappointed with day 1. But let's see what day 2, 3 through 4 holds for us. So I'm gonna go through these fairly quickly because I don't have a lot of time today, but I did want to get caught up on this, and I would love to be able to promise that I will give you a video every day of Inkvent from now until the 25th, but given the way things have gone already this month, I'm not sure I can promise that, but that will be my goal. We'll see how it goes. All right, well, I'm going to link you to day 1's swatching so that you can get the info on what the setup is here, and of course see the swatching of day 1. For those of you that already saw that, you know that I had some issues with my Drill Log metal nib. I'm going to try it again today, but I don't know. I was able to get it to work a little bit after the first day's video, but it does seem to be rather finicky, so we'll see if we can get that to work. If not, there is always the trusty Kakimori nib, which works every time. This is the steel Kakimori nib. And then, of course, I have the automatic pen in a number 4 that I'm also using for these swatches. And if you go back to day 1, which will be linked down below, I put a link to my setup for this. Oh boy, my brain is still not working clearly, to this fountain pen ink setup book, and that will have a link to this automatic pen if you're interested in getting that. All right, let's get back on track here. So I will be doing day 2 through 5. So for day 2, we had an ink called Yule Log, which is a shimmer ink, so that'll be interesting to see. And then for day 3, we had Solar Storm, which is a chameleon ink, which I'm not quite sure what that means. And then we have Spruce, which is a scented ink. Oh, that's interesting, for day 3. Or day 4 rather. And then day 5 was Spiced Apple, which also says that it's a chameleon ink. So this all sounds very interesting. I guess I've been missing out for the last few days. I have seen some spoilers online about these inks, so I kind of know the general colors of them, but hopefully this will be this will allow everybody to kind of see them as I'm swatching, including myself. So let me go ahead and zoom in here. I'm going to zoom in there so that you can see both sides, because I'm going to be doing here through there. All right, and I do have a pot of water off to the side. That was the little blue thing that you saw over there. So let's start with Yule Log. I'm going to shake that up. I'm going to shake it up pretty good, actually, because I do see some sediment there on the bottom. Okay, shake that up, and then, okay. I did take the plastic off of all of these and I'm really glad I did too, because I really struggled to get the plastic off. All right, let me dip in here, and let's hope this goes smoother. Yeah, there we go. Oh, that actually looks really pretty already. Okay. There we go. I'm gonna rinse off the automatic pen. And I also have a paper towel off to the side, so I'm going to dry my automatic pen on that. That actually is really pretty. All right, let's see how it goes with the Drill Log. Okay, I'm going to dip there. Okay, so what I was able to do, man, I'm really not happy with this Drill Log, I have to say. I got the thinnest one. Okay, there we go. There we go. That's what I had to do before, kind of rotate it. Oh, this is terrible, guys. Okay, I'm going to give up on the Drill Log for these swatches. I'm going to have to do some troubleshooting with that and see what's going on there. I really have not been happy with the drill log at all. Like I said, I got the thinner nib, which is the point. Sorry, I have stamps and stamping and stuff on my paper towel. I got the 0.5, and I really think maybe I should have gotten the 0.7. Part of the reason why I got the 0.5 is so that I could do, you know, thin lines for sketching. And if it's just not going to work at all, that's kind of a problem. And I have cleaned it off with alcohol, so I don't know if it's the skin oils. Anyway, so let's go back to the trusty Kakimori nib. And here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this is Diamine Yule Log. All right, so there's that. Let's go ahead and go on to the next one, and then this will have a chance to dry a little, and then I will show it to you closer up. I'll show all of these to you closer up. Okay, let me put the cap, this on the end. Okay, so that was Yule Log, which was day 2, and actually that's looking really, really pretty. One thing that I do like about Diamine sparkling or shimmering inks is that they tend not to clog up pens, which is very nice. I think their shimmer is super fine, so it doesn't get gunked up too much. I haven't really had a problem with any of them gunking up pens. Okay, so this next one, oh, and it looks like it does have some shimmer on the bottom. So this is Solar Storm, which claims to be a chameleon ink. If any of you know what that is supposed to mean, let me know. I probably should look it up. Okay, let's see. Put that off to the side, and then we'll start with the automatic pen. And okay, wow, that's very dark, although that was a pretty thick application, and this definitely looks pretty purple. I'm gonna rinse that off there. Okay, now let's go to the Kakimori nib. Now this nib, love it, super good. Definitely a good investment here. Okay, Diamine Solar Storm, and yes, there's definitely some sparkle. But again, like I said, I'm not really sure what is meant by chameleon. Chameleon to me means it changes color depending on the circumstance. So I'm not really sure how we'll be able to see that aspect of it here. And then, like I said, we have another chameleon ink. So we will see, which is that spiced apple, I believe. Okay, these are definitely much more interesting than day 1, I believe. So this next one is a scented ink called Spruce. We don't have smell-o-vision, so you won't be able to smell, but I'm going to smell. Oh, it smells very nice, actually. Oh, yeah, it smells totally like a tree. That's kind of awesome. It smells like Christmas is what it smells like. Wow, that's nice. Okay, because normally scented inks, you know, I'm either just ho-hum on them or I'm not really a fan. So let's see. Oh, and it's a beautiful ink. Beautiful. Okay. And you know, most scented inks, their scent fades after you've put them on paper, but you know, it takes varying amounts of time to fade. And sometimes you can't even really smell it at all on the paper. So I'm trying to get the ink out. That would seem to be a very strongly colored ink. Okay, so now I'm going to use the Kakimori nib. Oh wow, this must be a very wet ink. Wow. Because it's just running off of there. Diamine Spruce. I wonder if that's a function of being scented. I don't know, it's kind of weird, but you can see, I mean, I didn't do anything differently for this one that I did with the others, and it's quite a bit more broad in the writing. It just is super wet. Oops. Oh, I knew that cap was gonna go flying, but that's okay. It doesn't seem to have soaked through the page, but it's definitely very, very wet. I'll be interested to see if it does that in other circumstances, like in normal everyday writing. with a fountain pen. But yeah, it's a very pretty ink though. It looks like it might still have some sparkle left over from the prior two colors. Oh, okay, I might see what they're talking about with chameleon ink. I think it might actually change color depending on the angle. So you've got like the gold and the purple. Maybe that's what that means. And I think the shimmer might be different colors. Maybe? I don't know. Okay, so then we're going to go on to day 5, which, like I said, is another chameleon ink and does have some shimmer in the bottom there. So I'm going to shake that up again. So far, I think, you know, day 1 has been the least interesting so far. They probably should have started out with something a little more interesting than that. But after that, all of these have been pretty interesting. Okay, so let's go over here to day 5. And before I leave you, I will indeed put these closer up to the camera. Oh, wow, that's really pretty. I do love a good red ink. Oh, super pretty. Okay. It's funny because I think, you know, back in the day, everybody would kind of associate, I'm cleaning my tool here. Most people would associate red ink with like making corrections or, you know, writing comments on something, but I love to write with just a red ink. I think red ink is super beautiful. Okay, let's see. Let's dip the Kakimori nib and see how we get what we get for, yeah, see, like that was clearly not just a fluke. It was that particular ink, because this is actually coming out a pretty thin line. So this is what, candy, or no, spiced apple. Yeah, and any of you that have this calendar, let me know what your experience has been. If you've used the Diamine Spruce more than just the swatching, it might take me a little while to get to that point, because it seems like super, super wet by comparison to the other inks, which I'm a little concerned about, but I guess I could remedy that by putting it in a really fine nibbed pen, maybe. Okay, so let's go ahead and close that last one up, and then I'm going to show you these closer up. And it looks like that spiced apple is drying pretty darn fast. Okay, so of course on day 1 we had Bliss. Day 2, here's this Diamine Yule Log, which I think is really pretty. I was actually, because on the second day, this was ruined for me. Well, you know, it was spoiled online before I could get to it because, you know, I was sick. So as I'm scrolling through the internet in bed, I saw Yule Log. But I told my husband that it was a sparkle brown, and he just thought that was hilarious. But sparkle brown is a thing, and it totally works. I think this is beautiful. It almost looks like the sparkle is pink, but maybe it's just brown. All right, and then we have Diamine Solar Storm, which is still wet a little bit here in the corner, but mostly dry now. Yeah, and I do think chameleon means you're going to get different colors depending on where the light is shining. I think that is definitely what we're looking at there. And I think it's mostly a function of the shimmer that's in there. Okay, really beautiful. And then we have Diamine Spruce, which is a scented ink, which smells just like Christmas. Okay, it's faded, but it's still there. We do have a little bit of a wet area here, so maybe that's why I can still smell it. I'm going to try and smell this again. Yeah, I can still smell it. So it's still kind of, you know, spruce smelling, but it does kind of smell like a Christmas tree, which is quite nice, I think. And then here we have Diamine Spiced Apple, which is another chameleon ink. And like the other one, I think it's really a function of the shimmer that's in there. So you're seeing sort of a gold and red depending on the angle. You can see it pretty well in the writing as well. I don't know if you can, but I can definitely see that much more than the Solar Storm, where I can't really see the shimmer in the writing for Solar Storm, but I can for Spiced Apple. And that could just be a function of, you know, how the bottle was shaken or anything like that. Okay, let me zoom out just a little bit. And so you can see all of those together. All right, well, now I'm caught up to day 5 on the Inkvent. I will do my best to do the rest day by day, but like I said, No guarantees, just because clearly of the way things are going, it's not always the way I would like it to be. Anyway, so like I said, I'll put a link down to day one, and that'll either have the videos or the links to all of the things that you might be interested in, like the automatic pen, etc., and the setup for this fountain pen swatch book. All right, well, that's all I had for you today. Feel free to subscribe to keep track of future videos on my channel. I hope to see you next time. Oh, if you enjoyed this, give it a like. I hope to see you next time, but in the meantime, have a great day. Thanks so much. Bye.